Hello and welcome to Did You Know Voice Acting Extra. Today we're talking about the long-running live-action series Power Rangers. As many hardcore fans of the series probably know, Power Rangers is heavily adapted from the Japanese live-action Super Sentai TV shows, being Americanized and reimagined for a Western audience using the original footage and costumes to create a new story. However, believe it or not, what we know as Power Rangers is also released overseas with a Japanese dub and presented as its own separate show. In fact, the late great Machiko Soga, who performed the part of the villainous Bandora in the original Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger series, dubbed her own Americanized counterpart, Rita Repulsa, in the Japanese version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Fans are, of course, very familiar with Rita's American voice actor, Barbara Goodson, who played the role for over 10 years throughout a number of different Power Ranger shows.
Don't leave! You'll miss my coming out party! That's when I destroy the nearest planet!
Barbara's castmates in the Mighty Morphin series consist of many voice actors you'd recognize from a number of popular anime series, such as Michael Sorich, Wendy Lee, and the late great Bob Papenbrook. Of note is Dave Mallow, voice of Babu, who also recorded the opening announcer bits for the show.
A brilliant idea!
Today on Power Rangers, the city plans a special day to honor our heroes.
And Robert Axelrod, who had already been playing the monster-making Finster during the first season, would later go on to play the evil Lokar, who in Zyuranger was actually the final major enemy, Satan. And of course, Robert would also go on to play the villainous Lord Zed during the show's second season.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. You're going to put quite a bite on the Rangers.
They're all yours, sweetheart!
I am Lord Zed, Emperor of all the sea. You have failed to complete the mission assigned to you. I will now resume command.
Further, many of the voices behind the Monsters of the Week would go on to portray other characters of major significance, such as Tom Wyner later taking on the role of Master Vile in Power Rangers Zeo, Lex Lang later becoming Rygog on Power Rangers Turbo, and Steve Kramer would later play Darkonda from Power Rangers in Space. The process of dubbing, also called ADR or Automated Dialogue Replacement, is where audio is re-recorded over existing footage. The actors behind the Power Ranger villains' voices are all experienced in dubbing for foreign films and TV shows, as well as animation, which is why many of them continue to work extensively in English dubbing for anime, even today. In fact, even one of Mighty Morphin's original writer and producers, Tony Oliver, has gone on to direct the English dubs of shows such as Gurren Lagann, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hunter x Hunter, and many installments of the Fate series, just to name a few. He was also, by the way, the voice of Saba the Talking Sword.
Excellent work, Tommy! Now look to your left!
Interestingly, in the original pilot episode for Power Rangers, several of the villains' voices were noticeably different despite being played by some of the same actors.
Hey, Rita! Wake up! Come on! We're free! Rita, wake up! We're free!
After 10,000 years, it's good to be free again.
Oh, it's good to be free after 10,000 years.
Let me help you, O powerful one. Walk with me, talk with me.
Jeez, you made me step in a puddle! Out of my way, monkey face!
Fear your evilness, let me help you. Walk with me, talk with me.
You made me step in a puddle, you nitwit! Get out of my way, monkey face!
And funnily enough, an episode of Samurai Pizza Cats can be seen playing on a TV in the background, the English dub for which was actually written by many of the same voice actors from Power Rangers. Both in this pilot as well as the early episodes of the series, Zordon was played in full by David Fielding, but after later becoming too busy to continue the role, footage of his likeness was used for Zordon's appearance, while his voice was then provided by the late great Emmy Award-winning sound designer of Power Rangers, Robert L. Manahan. A few other performers of note mixed into the cast were the likes of Richard Horvitz, who would later go on to star in major cartoons such as Invader Zim, Angry Beavers, and Squirrel Boy on the part of Alpha 5.
No, don't touch that! Whoa! And my name is Alpha 5. Well, now that didn't go very well, did it?
As well as Paulie Shrier, who portrayed Bulk in the series, had even lent his voice to monsters such as Premator, Brat Boy, and Infinitor.
Hi, girls. How about that double date we talked about? What's the matter? We're not good enough for you?
Oh, that's smart! Save your breath, Brat! I'm not through with you yet!
And even Alex Borstein of Mad TV and Family Guy fame voiced various monsters and major Power Rangers Zeo villain Queen Machina.
You came back, that sweet dear. An interloper named Louis Kaboom is taking over our palace.
Well over a decade after Mighty Morphin had finished airing, there was also a video game called Power Rangers Super Legends, which featured some very different voices for a number of iconic villains and heroes, including famous voice actors Steve Bloom as Lord Zed and Nolan North as Goldar.
If Rita wants the Rangers beaten so bad, she should do it herself. Forget Rita, you fool! I have new orders for you. Go and dump this in the Angel Grove water reservoir. Aye, my liege. But what is it? Will zombify everyone in Angel Grove and prepare them for transformation to Z-Bodies.
And with the appearance of the original Power Rangers, Kim My Guest voiced Pink Ranger Kimberly, while Yuri Lowenthal voiced not only Red Ranger Jason, but both versions of the Omega SPD Ranger.
Good news. I've identified another time stream with a Ranger team. We must reach them before Lord Zed. No, I'm the Omega Ranger. And Ichthyr working with Emperor Crumb is an anomaly in history. I just heard that Goldar's been sighted not far from here. Now where's that Omega Ranger?
Of course, probably the most recognizable performer behind the microphone of the Power Rangers franchise is none other than Bryan Cranston of Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad fame. Early in his acting career, Bryan actually voiced several episodic monster characters in the first season of Mighty Morphin, such as Snizzard and Twin Man, and 20 years later would go on to play the part of Zordon in the 2017 reboot film Saban's Power Rangers.
Your weapons are no match for me. Now you shall taste my firepower.
You mean to tell me that the fate of the universe is placed in the hands of these children? The morphing grid is never wrong. If the power coins in, return to the ship with these teenagers are the Power Rangers.
But the trivia doesn't end there, as comedian and celebrity voice actor Bill Hader played Alpha 5 in the movie, while Rita's monster henchman Goldar and the Putties were sound designed by the voice of the Incredible Hulk, Fred Tatasciore. And now it's time for this episode's random piece of trivia. This time we're looking at an even more classic creation by original Super Sentai creator Shotaro Ishinomori, the Cyborg 009 franchise. Cyborg 009 has had a number of animated series and movies starring the family of modified humans from across the globe since the 60s. American fans would best recognize the 2001 version that aired on Cartoon Network's Toonami block, featuring yet again many of the same voice actors also heard in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, recorded in Los Angeles at a studio called Point 360. Interestingly, a number of several new Cyborg 009 animated films have been released in succession over just the past few years, all of which had completely different voice casts in both Japanese and English. But as it turns out, the English casts of these 4 projects in particular all just so happen to share a few members between each other. First, the 2012 Re-Cyborg CG animated film recorded at NYAV Post featured Michael Sorich, previously the voice of 007 GB and was the voice director of the 2001 series, this time as 006 Chang Chenku. Meanwhile, the 2015 Cyborg vs. Devilman OVA series, recorded at Splice Bread Productions, included Joey Lotsko, who previously voiced Cyborg 0010 in the 2001 series as 006, and Stephanie Shea, voice of Cyborg 001 Ivan Whiskey in the Re-Cyborg film, this time as 003 Francois Arnault. Finally, the 2016 Call of Justice OVA series, recorded at Bang Zoom Studios, featured cast members from all 3 other productions. Kyle McCarley, who previously voiced 0014 in Cyborg vs. Devilman, starred in the film as 009 himself, Joe Shimomura. Patrick Seitz, who voiced 005 G Jr. in the Re-Cyborg film, this time played the part of the Evil Emperor. And Kirk Thornton, who voiced 002 Jet Link in the 2001 series, this time played 006. And last but not least, the part of 003 was voiced by Cristina V, who, while not having previously played a Cyborg 009 character, appeared in the Cyborg vs. Devilman OVA as the voice of Miki Makimura, and even went on to reprise the role just a few years later in the critically acclaimed Devilman Crybaby series. Thanks so much for watching. This video was inspired by the Did You Know Gaming Extra series, so go check out their channel and watch all their videos on gaming trivia. If you like this video, click the link to this one here to learn more about the voice actors of the Dragon Ball franchise. This has been Chris Neosi, and I hope you learned a little bit more about your favorite voice actors. Take care.